Man, glad I got you here though, as I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty for a minute now. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Yo, what's up, bro?
Yo, what's going on, dude?
How you doing today, man?
Chilling, man. Tire swapping for the weekend, you know,
Word.
the usual stuff. What you got going on, man?
Oh, you know, just living the dream, buddy.
Yeah.
So this is what you have up underneath these bags, huh?
Ah, the gold, huh?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Legends. Of my new Revo Arcs. Yeah, you don't get to see these much. They're usually tucked under the bags, but
So this is what you have hidden away, huh?
yeah, all tucked in there tight. Oof, the secret to success right here.
Oh, I
the
see.
Legends Revo Arcs. These shocks a little bit. I've been running these Legends now for almost 4 years. They've been great to me. These are an upgrade from the precursor that I had, which is the Revo A's, which are over here on my Dyna. I'll show you them in a second. If you don't know, this is definitely the cheat code to wheelies and performance riding in general. Everybody asks a lot of stuff. They want to talk about the motors first. It all starts here with your suspension. If your suspension isn't right, nothing on the bike's going to be right. Doesn't matter if you got 150 horsepower in your motor and the stickiest tire in the world. If your suspension sucks, you're not going to be doing much good riding. But while I do have you here, I do want to talk about my Legend suspension because I hadn't really spoke about my setup much. I've been running them for years now. I think it's a good opportunity to just go over my setup. I know a lot of people are curious about how my bikes are set up and why. I'll go through the progression of it, I guess. I started with the rear suspension. I had the Revo A's to start, the 13-inch, or they might have been 13.5-inch. Either way, this bike would not do a wheelie until I put Legend suspension on there. It was about 4 years ago now in Sturgis when Jesse put the Revo A's on the back of my bike, and I went out, and I think it was like a half hour later I started wheeling the bike. So it is literally a cheat code. Suspension is the biggest issue when it comes to these bikes. They want to handle, they want to do the fun stuff that we want them to do, but you got to have the supporting mods, and suspension is definitely at the top of that list. Like I said before, it doesn't matter how much money you got in your motor, controls, your seat, whatever. If your suspension's not working properly, your power's not getting to the floor, and it's not doing what you want it to do. So, just a little bit about these Revo Arcs that I upgraded to last year. These are 14-inch. I run the 110 springs, which are a little bit lighter duty. I'm a smaller guy. I weigh about $170. A lot of other guys are running the 130 springs though, so that's just going to depend on your riding style, your weight, your passenger. You know, it just depends on how you like to ride. These shocks give an incredible amount of adjustment. You got your spring height adjustment and tension, your rebound, your compression, all with the turn of a knob. No tools needed. You literally can just twist the knob and adjust your suspension as you wish. These actually worked perfectly out of the box. I didn't touch them for a while until I linked up with the Centers Only guys and we dialed them in a little bit more. But it's all, like I said, it's about getting the power to the floor, and that's what these shocks allow you to do. So the bike's capabilities definitely increased tenfold by putting these rear shocks on. And then the next thing we went to was the front suspension, which typically on my other bikes I never really thought about the front suspension. It always worked. The rear, you needed to get traction, whatever. But when it comes to the Road Glide, the front end is actually a very important part. So what we did was went to a +2-inch fork tube that are actually ran in the trikes, and then the Axio drop-ins for the 21-inch wheel plus twos. This modification really helped a lot with, number one, putting down my wheelies, and number two, even the clutch up, as surprising as that sounds. You might see in a lot of our videos of wheelies, we either tap brakes or compress the suspension a little bit to get a good bounce off the clutch up. It kind of takes a lot to get these bikes in the air, and the plus two, you know, it obviously raises the bike a little bit in the front, so it levels it out with the rear. When you go from, you know, the stock 10-inch shocks to a 14-inch shock, you're raising the rear end up a bunch, so to bring the front end 2 inches higher helps a lot too. And then, not to mention, the Axios just do a very good job of taking the abuse. So I used to bottom out this the stock suspension a lot. My fender used to actually hit up into my tree, and you could still kind of see a bend in my fairing from where my fender used to hit. So now with the plus two, you get 2 more inches of travel. The Axios do a really good job of soaking up all the bumps in the road and whatever. Now, aside from the sport of wheeling or stunt riding, whatever, even just for an everyday rider, the suspension is going to do a lot better job at handling the bumps in the road. It's going to give you more lean angle because you're raised up off the ground a little bit more, so you'll be able to have a little bit more fun in the turns. If you do ride with a passenger or with luggage often, it's going to help you a lot as well. It's definitely going to withstand a lot more abuse. And then that's basically how my suspension is set up right now. It's been like this for years, and I have no plan on changing it because, you know, if it works, nothing to fix. So, the customer service at Legends is one of the things that I noticed to be a definitive difference between other companies. I feel like everyone there at Legends really cares about the riders and their setup and the happiness of the customers. These shocks do have a lifetime warranty. You can send them back to get rebuilt if anything happens to them. Obviously, if you wreck your bike and you break the shock in half, that's on you. But if there's any failure to the parts, Legends does a great job of righting the wrong right away. I'm not going to get into too much technical detail about the shocks because I'm no expert in suspension. But if you head over to Legends YouTube, Chase does a great job at explaining every little bit about these shocks and about how they work and why they do the things that they do, and what adjustments they've made throughout the years, and why, you know, we ended up here. So definitely, if you get a chance, I'll put the link down below. Go ahead and check out their YouTube for a lot more information on these shocks. I'm just a rider kind of trying to explain to you why I like them, and, you know, kind of a real world scenario rather than the facts of the tech sheet or whatever. Well, I think that's about all I have to say about my suspension setup right now, guys. If you want to hang around and keep watching, I'm going to go do some riding. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one.